Once upon a time, in a quiet little village surrounded by tall mountains and green fields, there lived a young man named Elias. He was only 24 years old, full of energy, but deep inside he was restless. His thoughts were like waves crashing in his head, never stopping, never quiet. Every day Elias's mind jumped between the past and the future. He regretted things that had already happened, replaying them again and again. Then he worried about what might come next, imagining problems that didn't even exist yet. Because of this, peace never stayed with him. He could not sleep peacefully, he could not smile sincerely, and even the beauty of the world around him failed to calm his heart. One day, while sitting by a river and watching the water flow, Elias overheard two travelers talking. They spoke of a wise old man who lived far away in the mountains. This man, they said, had once been a famous psychologist in the city who helped many people find peace in their minds. But as he grew older, he left behind the noise and pressure of the city to live a quiet life close to nature. Now, people from distant lands came to visit him, seeking his guidance. It was said that even a short conversation with him could change one's life. Hearing this, Elias's heart filled with hope. Maybe, just maybe, this wise man could help him silence the storm inside. The next morning, Elias packed a small bag with food and water and began his journey through the mountains. The path was long and rough. He walked through forests, crossed rivers, and climbed rocky hills. The sun burned during the day, and the wind howled at night, but Elias didn't stop. He believed that at the end of this journey, he would find the peace he had been searching for all his life. After several tiring days, he finally arrived in a small, peaceful village high in the hills. The air was cool, and the only sounds were the songs of birds and the rustle of leaves. It felt like a different world, calm, gentle, and still. At the edge of the village, Elias saw a small house covered in vines and surrounded by flowers. On the porch sat an old man with closed eyes and a face so peaceful that Elias could feel the silence in his presence. Slowly, Elias approached and said, "Grandfather, my heart is restless. My thoughts never stop and I cannot find peace. Can you help me?" The old man opened his eyes and looked at Elias kindly. His eyes were calm, filled with warmth and understanding. "So you wish to find peace?" he asked softly. "Yes," Elias replied. "I want to quiet my mind and rest my heart." The old man smiled and said, "Then come with me. I will give you a small task." He led Elias to his backyard and filled a glass of water to the very top. The water shimmered under the sunlight, almost ready to spill. He handed the glass to Elias and said, "Walk from here to the far end of the village and then come back, but you must not spill even one drop." Elias looked at him in surprise. It sounded too simple. Yet he could tell from the old man's calm expression that this task held meaning. So he nodded, took the glass carefully in both hands, and began walking. The road through the village was busy. Children ran and played, dogs barked, shopkeepers shouted to customers, and the smell of fresh bread floated through the air. But Elias saw none of it. His eyes stayed fixed on the glass of water. Each step was slow and deliberate. His arms were steady, his breathing calm. He could feel people watching him curiously, but he didn't care. All that mattered was keeping the water from spilling. When he reached the edge of the village, he turned back, still focusing completely on the glass. Not a single drop was lost. When he finally returned to the old man, his face glowed with satisfaction. "Grandfather," he said, "I did it. Not one drop spilled." The old man nodded and smiled gently. "That's good," he said. "But tell me, on your way, did you see the children playing by the road?" Elias thought for a moment and replied, "No." The old man continued, "Did you hear the dogs barking or the vendors calling?" Again Elias shook his head. "No, I didn't notice any of that. I was only watching the water." The old man's smile grew wider. "And that," he said softly, "is the secret of peace. When your mind stays focused on the present moment, it becomes still. The noise of the world fades away. The distractions, the worries, and the fears cannot touch you because you are here, fully aware, fully present. Elias listened carefully. For the first time, the message reached deep into his heart. He realized that all his suffering came from living either in the past or in the future, never in the now. The old man continued, "Your thoughts are like those children, those barking dogs, those shouting vendors. They are always there. But when you focus on what's right in front of you, when you give your full attention to this moment, the noise disappears. The world doesn't change, but your relationship with it does." Elias nodded slowly, his heart filling with understanding. He had spent years running away from his thoughts, trying to silence them, but all he needed to do was stop chasing them. The old man placed a gentle hand on Elias's shoulder and said, "My boy, peace isn't something you find somewhere outside. It is already within you. But to see it, your mind must stop wandering. When you think too much about the past, you live with pain. When you fear the future, you live with anxiety. But when you are here right now, you live in peace. Life is only ever happening in this moment." Elias's eyes filled with tears as he bowed his head. "Grandfather," he whispered, "I understand now. Peace was never lost. I just wasn't paying attention." The old man smiled, his eyes shining in the golden light of sunset. "Exactly," he said. "Your peace is like the water in that glass. It spills only when your hand trembles. Keep your mind steady, and your heart will always remain calm." The sky turned orange and pink as the sun dipped behind the mountains. Birds flew home to their nests, and the wind carried a soft, peaceful silence through the hills. Elias stood there, breathing slowly, feeling lighter than he had in years. The weight on his chest was gone. He looked at the world around him, the same world, but now it seemed beautiful, quiet, and full of meaning. When Elias began his walk back home, he was no longer the same person who had arrived. His steps were slower, gentler. He noticed the colors of the trees, the laughter of the children, the smell of earth after rain. Everything felt alive because his mind was finally still. He wasn't chasing peace anymore. He was living it. He realized that peace isn't about escaping life's noise. It's about staying calm within it. It's not about having no problems. It's about having clarity even when problems come. When Elias returned to his own village, people noticed something had changed. He spoke less but with more kindness. He listened more, smiled more, and seemed to carry a quiet strength wherever he went. When others came to him with worries, he would share the lesson he had learned. "Hold your peace like a glass of water," he would say. "Focus on what's in your hands right now. Don't let your thoughts spill into the past or future. That's how you keep your peace steady." Over time, even the villagers began to feel calmer around him. His silence spoke louder than words. The once restless young man had become a symbol of stillness. This story reminds us that peace is not hidden somewhere far away. It is right here, waiting for us in the present moment. The mind will always try to wander, but we can choose to bring it back. We can choose to live fully in the now, where life truly happens. When you eat, taste your food. When you walk, feel your steps. When you breathe, notice the air entering and leaving your body. The more aware you become of the present, the more peaceful your life becomes. Like Elias, you will discover that calmness doesn't come from the world around you. It comes from within you. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by thoughts or fears, remember Elias's journey. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Focus only on what's in front of you. Let the noise fade into the background. You don't need to run away from your thoughts. You just need to stop following them. Peace isn't something to find. It's something to remember. It's been inside you all along. Thank you for being with us here at Golden Years Wisdom. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories that bring calm, reflection, and meaning to life. Remember, the peace you're searching for is already inside you. Quiet, gentle, and waiting to be noticed. Stay mindful, stay grateful, and stay peaceful until we meet again.